up? What up?
Woo, we took a little break, man. We back, man. Let's go.
We back, man.
Back like we never left.
I had to take a little vacation, man. You know, I was down there, but in Weeki Wachi.
Hey.
Over there on the west coast of Florida, chilling with the manatees and the dolphins. Just took a couple days, man, and phone died, which is the fucking most phenomenal thing that could happen during the vacation. Dude, do you? Dude, when was the last time that you fucking turn your phone off and actually just go do some shit?
If I think about some of the best days I've had in the last, let's say, decade, they always involve like my phone not working or the battery dying or like whatever, and you just get to be present. And you're not fucking married to this, like, when you told me your phone, I was like, oh, it's like funny. But I also know you're not normally attached to your phone anyway.
No, and I'm not.
But from a work perspective and everything else, I'm like, what a phenomenal time for your phone to bust.
To die.
Because, like for me, my concern is like my kids, like I want to be able to, but like you're with them, right? So it was like, they're there. Anybody who wants to get a hold of you is probably there. You know, I'm sure there's some family there, but you're like, for the most part.
Yeah, other than my mom.
I'm reachable. Yeah.
Yeah, other than my mom is like everybody that I need to take care of was there. And so,
that would give me the most comfort is like if everybody that I cared about was like, reachable and I knew, I could see them and I'm like, okay, everybody that I'm responsible for that I feel like I need to take care of is there. Like, I'm good. I don't need a fucking phone. It would allow me to be so present. Yeah. What a great, I feel like that's almost like just like a bonus to the vacation of like something like that.
That was, man. It was just a week of fucking, we were on the springs over there, man. Kayaking, fucking, playing Uno and just like games at night. One of the finals games was on.
Oh, that was fun.
During the week, man. I brought some tequila. I brought some bourbon. Man, it was cool, man. And the house actually sat on one of the canals that led to the spring.
Oh, nice.
So you had manatees rolling through
What's
there.
What's it called again out there?
Weeki Wachi.
Bro, Florida.
Florida.
Yeah, Florida just be naming all of their towns after shit that doesn't make sense or anybody they killed.
Yeah. Let me tell you, bro. On the way over there, I passed a place called With a Coochie. With a Coochie.
Not to be confused with without. On the opposite. That's Florida's so wild, bro. We'll just name shit after Native Americans that we killed. Or whatever Spaniards we fucking murdered, or vice versa. Whoever the Spaniards murdered when they got here, we're like, yeah. And then we just go with it. We'll name college football teams after them. It's amazing.
But no, man, amazing time. We had to take a little, take a little break from the pod for a week, man. But back in the house, energized. Welcome back, everybody, to the Carpet Football Podcast. He is Juan, and I'm Sean, and every week we get together, have a few drinks, talk about things going on in the world, try to focus on things making an impact, whether they be good, bad, or otherwise. Hit him with a drink of the day.
Dude, I wanted to try something new, but obviously from familiar liquor in terms of like we love bourbon, so I just wanted to do bourbon. But I wanted to, I had been itching to try a bourbon that I hadn't. I felt like we hadn't really explored into something new. I'm like, man, I want to try a bourbon we haven't done yet. So I did this Old Forester Statesman, which is 95 proof bourbon. Old Forester has a bunch like in the gamut from like a $20 bourbon to like $1,000 bourbon.
Yes.
So, but you can't go wrong usually with the Old Forester. But first time I tried this, it's good. We tried it by itself, not bad. We've been knocking it out of the park with the bourbons lately too, man. Anytime we've tried a new one, man, it's been pretty good. So I wanted to do that, but something refreshing. So this is called a Red Raider, actually. And
okay.
Yeah, and it's about 2 ounces. You do 1 3/4 to 2 ounces of bourbon. I did 2 ounces of bourbon. It did 3/4 ounce of lemon juice, 1/2 ounce of Control, 1/2 ounce of grenadine in a shaker with ice. Shake that for like 8 to 10 seconds. Pour it in a rocks glass. Filled with ice, and we garnish with a dehydrated orange, which your boy has been making, and they look phenomenal. Let's go. I might have to package these and sell them under the Carbon Footprint brand. I don't know. I'm undecided. Stay tuned. But I'm extra proud of this orange. It looks so pretty. But yeah, it's good. It's so refreshing. It reminds me of I guess like a whiskey sour or bourbon sour.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man,
but with the grenadine added. Yeah.
Yes, and so like for those of you who don't like, and we just talked about this a little while ago, man, where it's like we like the taste of the liquor, right?
Yes.
So like for those of you who if you don't, if you need like a fruity drink or something like that where you don't really taste the liquor, this is not a drink for you. But for those of you that do like the taste, man, this one hits. This is a nice poolside drink, man.
Yeah.
Like that's the moment I tried it, I was just like, oh yeah, I'm making this and I'm sitting by the pool.
Because it feels like you could do all of this with rum, but instead of rum, it's it has that same citrusy sort of hit to it because of the Cointreau and the lemon juice. Also, and I don't think we've touched on this a lot here before, because I was just looking at this bottle and noticing it's the 95 proof. If you like, you and I both love the bourbon facing. Like, I want to taste the bourbon first. I don't want to taste the lemon juice and all that stuff. Like, I want that to complement it. But I like tasting the liquor. This is why like I'm particular about the liquors that I buy or whatever. Like, I want to try that, right? Like, I don't want to drink to just get a buzz. Like, I actually enjoy the taste of some of these. If you don't like that, you could still do the 2 ounces. Just go pick a something that's like maybe less than 40 to 45 proof. Do like something lower than that or lower than 50. Okay. Yeah. And it won't be so alcohol forward. So I guess if you guys, like there's some 100 proof or whatever, if you like that, you could do that and get away with the same amount. You don't necessarily have to change it. But if you just go get a bourbon, I can't think of any off the top of my head, but there's a plenty. Just look on the label of the bottle. That's like under 50, under 45, I would say. And it won't feel as forward, and you can still do the 2 ounces. The recipe works. You can still fill the glass the same way. And I feel like still get everything with it. But this one, I like this, man. I might have to keep this like inexpensive. It's under $60 a bottle. It's not like Woodford cheap, but it's also not breaking the bank. Like I feel like, I think I paid $55, $56 for this bottle. Like decent bottle, tastes good. I'm like, man, I'm probably gonna have to keep that in the rotation. Yeah. It's good, man. Yeah, because like I there's like staples that we always keep for mixing. Like we always keep Woodford and Basil and Buffalo Trace, and like there's certain ones I have. Like I'm looking at like Basil Hayden, I keep around all the time. Just like Macallan, I keep as like a sipper all the time. Like there's certain ones that you kind of just go to all the time that you just know are good for certain things. I almost got the Blade and Bow because I love that one. That one's like a $50 bottle, and it tastes great by itself. It tastes great mixed. But. Yeah, I was like, man, I really want to just like venture out into something different.
Yeah, that's good, man. When you came over to my house a couple weeks ago, and you brought the 10-year-old Widow Jane.
Oh, I love that shit, man.
And the Old Elk, which I love. The Old Elk, the Total Wine barrel, so right? I was like, which one is the gift? Because I really love, I think the Old Elk is like my favorite.
Yeah, Elk, so that one was the gift because I know it's your favorite. Yeah,
I knew, but then I saw the other one. I'm just like, this nigga done spend about $200 on fucking bourbon to come over to my house for a party.
Dude, I think we finished that bottle of Widow Jane.
I still got some left.
You still got some left? I'm like, man, I felt like we were getting through it.
We were.
You know what it was? I think, obviously, like the gift bottle, but I love Widow Jane. And then I happened to see it that day, and I knew I was gonna drink, so I was like, well, fuck, if I'm gonna drink, I feel like drinking this. It was a selfish move.
Good choice. I will gladly make you old fashions all night.
Which you threw down an old fashioned with the Widow Jane. It was so good.
Oh man,
it was so good, man. I had a couple there, man. I was like, this is great. Sean threw a great party, man. I was like, goddamn. I'm about to pull up a cot, dog.
Dude, not for nothing, man. Your Father's Day just passed.
Yeah,
this past Sunday, man. And dude, my sons, like, dude, they never cease to amaze me, man. There's I got my two oldest, my twins, and then I got my youngest, and my youngest is very reserved. But my two oldest, they actually like went like old school and made me cards.
Oh,
but in the card they wrote they write like heartfelt shit.
Ah, that's cool. Yeah, like they didn't go buy the Hallmark card with the heartfelt shit.
Right, no, right. So they actually write shit from the heart. Right?
Oh, that's cool.
It's really cool, man. And so it was yet another example of I was reminded that they're listening.
Okay.
It was really cool.
So there was stuff in there that they told you that you were
it was stuff in there that it was just like, yo, like thank like one of my sons says something like, hey, like I'm really grateful for you because like a lot of my friends don't even have dads that they can have Father's Day with.
Oh wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And each one of them went into specific things that I guess I have special with each of them. But a lot of it was just like, yo, like thank you for listening. Thank you for motivating me. Thank you for showing me the value of hard work. Thank you for that kind of shit.
Yeah.
So it was like it was, and it's funny, man. So the guy who mentions hard work is like the least hardworking guy.
He's like, but you complaining about me now. I'm working hard all the time. So
but I know he's listening.
But he knows. Yeah.
And the other one,
that's awesome.
the other one, man. He was like, I know that I know that now that I'm graduated from high school, now I'm that nigga on the couch. Because I told him, I'm just like, yo, man, eventually you're just gonna be that nigga on the couch. Like
that's some shit we would say.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I would talk that shit, right? I'm just like, yo, man, you gotta be doing shit. You can't just fucking be waking up, going to sleep late, waking up late, not doing nothing. You don't got no fucking job, whatever, man. You're gonna end up being that nigga on the couch, right?
Yeah.
And so
you gotta be. That's awesome.
But it was cool, man. Like each one of them sort of touched on things that either I've taught them or things that I kind of harp on. So it was just yet another example of like they're listening.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
And so as a parent, and if you guys are parents out there, you got your kids, like don't stop teaching. Don't think that even if they're not doing what you maybe want them to be doing, they are listening.
Yeah,
so,
dude.
So keep at it.
Yeah, I would say. Sorry, like I told you this off air. Obviously I spoke to your boys and stuff at your party and stuff, and I was telling you, like, man, as parents, like, we worry so much about like our kids, and we have, and our kids drive us crazy, and we complain about, everything, like not everything, but like, you'll be frustrated about certain things about what they're doing or not doing or whatever, and I think, but ultimately our goal is to like raise good human beings, right? Like at the grand scheme of things. My dog is like going off here just once a second. Yeah, by the way, if you guys are watching on YouTube and it looks like I'm diddling myself, I'm actually petting my dog who's like sort of under the table.
Why is Juan's hand constantly?
Yeah, it looks like I'm doing a Pee Wee Herman here mid. My dog just got surgery and he's really fucking needy right now because he doesn't see people, so he's like all over Sean, and he just wants to be in the mix. In talking to your boys, man, like it was really cool. They gave attention to like my kids, like that they didn't have to, right? Like there's a really big age gap there, and especially with my younger son, right? They don't necessarily have to like give him the time of day, and they did, right? And even the way they talk to me, like just being respectful and like. Again, obviously I'm there for like their graduation party, but like I'm their dad's friend. They don't have to really, spend time with me. But each one of them took like, 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever, to sit and talk to me one-on-one and share with me like, their high school stuff and whatever. And they genuinely seemed like interested in wanting to have the conversation, not like an awkward like, and I remember just like being leaving there going like, man, they're gonna be fine. Like at the end of the day, like they're good people, and it's like that's the win. You're like, man, like because I worry about my kids all the time, and it's like, man, if my kids just turn out to be good human beings, like good people, like that's the win. And we're so hard on ourselves about like what we do or don't do of our kids. Like whether we spoil them or don't spoil them, or will they get into a good college or a good job or whatever. Whatever it is. I'm like. Man, at the end of the day, I think we just want them to be good people. Like, everything else, that doesn't mean they're perfect and everything else that they do, but it's like, I feel like the win is just like raising the, like, if you don't turn on the news tomorrow and your kid didn't shoot up their high school. WU. Yeah, right? So, yeah, man, I know we're hard on our own kids and all that, but from an outsider's perspective, man, they're there. You good?
That's awesome to hear, man. And I think they are. They're good guys, man. They're good guys, definitely. All right, man. Yo, my carpet flipping of the week is going out to Dr. Michael, I'm going to fuck his last name up. Zollikifer?
Ooh.
Known as Dr. Z. 66 years old, out of Baltimore.
Okay.
Has been practicing doctor for the last 40 years, and he's serving residents of Baltimore's poorest neighborhoods. All right, so this guy, and he's sort of known for not turning away anyone.
Oh, okay.
Right, and so like his big motto is like, forget about that dollar bill. I'm gonna see you no matter what. You walk in that door, you will be seen. Bring your grandmother with you. I'll see her too.
Okay. Wow.
So Dr. Z recently ran into a bit of a hardship where he got cancer. But because he built such the goodwill in the community, when he got cancer, he had a complication with his insurance.
Okay.
And so he was stuck with this $150,000 bill. And the community came to his rescue. And one of his high school friends started a GoFundMe. And the community came through. 3,400 people came to his rescue.
Wow,
and donated over $280,000.
So you can get, it's just fucked up for someone who's already in the medical field, who is a doctor, and
right,
still can't fucking afford, like,
not only that,
damn,
you can't prevent the cancer.
You can't. Yeah, more importantly, maybe you're not that. Maybe that's why he's giving away free services.
Maybe he wasn't that good. Maybe he wasn't as good as you thought you was.
Took the wrong turn. You get, what medical school did he go to so we can get so we can start talking shit about these guys,
right?
But dude, it's a testament to like who you are as a person, as a human being. 3,400 people is a fucking lot. And like, who? I don't care if he has 20,000 patients and like only quote unquote 3,400.
Right.
That's still 3,400 people who were moved enough or at least cared enough to go like, saw the story and just went, I'll take 2 minutes to donate $5 to a couple $100 to whatever. Yeah, it's still, people have to care enough, man.
Yeah,
and that means you did something.
I know, man. This is something good, right? And so I think that's just a testament to, just don't be an asshole. Like be kind, man. Be good to people, and that shit will come back to you. And this guy, obviously, I want to say it was a complication with Medicare. It was like his own insurance had lapsed due to a policy complication with Medicare, which is crazy, right? You figure as a doctor, like you would think you know better or whatever. Not saying it was his fault. But the goodwill that this guy provided in the community just came back to help him in the end. So, and the guy's not planning on retiring anytime soon, man. Still helping people and doing this thing. So, shout out to Dr. Z.
That's awesome, man. Hey, good for him, man. Dr. Z. Hope he gets better. Is he on the mend? Do you know if his cancer's in remission or anything?
So his cancer, I don't know if it's in remission, but he had a double dose of cancer. Renal and rectal.
God damn.
Isn't it the same thing?
Nah, renal is kidney.
Oh,
it sounds like the same thing. You're absolutely right.
It sounds like the same thing. When I saw that, I was like, is that like a double ass cancer?
He got anus and rectum. There's two different.
Sorry, man.
I'm pretty sure.
I went to public school in Kissimmee.
Yes. I went to public school too, so I'm pretty sure renal is kidney, but I think.
We'll take your word for it.
Well, yeah. I'm gonna say that confidently. Dude, bro, as men too, it's really difficult for us to go see doctors.
Oh my god,
like we're terrible.
I don't want to. If I feel good, I'm just like, I don't want to go.
Yeah, and I'm horrible, and I spent the majority of my adult life not going to doctors.
Yeah,
I have recently this year have found a doctor that I've gone to, and I really like this guy. And I'm not gonna say his name because he's already full, and I don't want people to fucking jump on it. But even as a guy, man, I don't want to say enjoy, but like when I go there, I feel like I'm gonna get gonna get help. I'm gonna get my concerns addressed. I'm gonna get, like there've been some things that I had sort of experienced for a very long time, and he was the first person to really be like, yeah, but like, like most doctors throw medication at shit. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna do that, but I want to figure out the whys, and so good. And I do the right doctor will, I think, change your relationship of going to doctors, and which ultimately could be life-saving, right? Like, because to me, man, I had 0 inches of going to doctors. Now they're like putting me on okay, I want to see you in 6 months, I want to see you in 3 months, and I'm like, yeah, cool, boom, and I book it, and I go, and I try not to cancel it, and and I've seen this guy probably 2-3 times now, and I already have the next one booked, and I think because of the level of comfort and the care that he provided, and he's cool. Like, talking to him, I feel like I'm talking to a friend. Like, talks in layman's terms.
Dude, that shit matters, bro.
Oh my god, bro! And he also I mentioned it to say, like, he also mentioned shit about the insurance. Like, we had some shit where he wanted me to go get something, and the insurance is like, well, nah, it's not a problem. And he's kind of like, well, it's gonna be, or it is if you don't, and he was like giving me kind of like some of the scoop behind the shit with the insurance companies, and like from his perspective too. And it's refreshing because, like, you can tell he's in it to help people, and he understands that there's like this money game and all that stuff that you have to play, but he's also kind of like frustrated with it because he's clearly wants to help, right? Like, he's one of those guys who entered this profession. I think obviously, you want to make a good living, you want to do all that stuff, but you obviously want to help people, and you get that from him, right? Like, you do understand the like whenever I've seen him, the few times that I've seen him, I never felt like I'm just kind of like a number on the thing. Like, he does the common sense stuff where you feel like he cares about you as a person, and he cares about you as a patient and all that stuff. But like, but I said that to say, like, I feel like my relationship with like medical professionals has shifted a little bit, and I go, who knows? Like, maybe going to see him sometimes, I might catch something early later on that I would have never caught, because again, I wasn't seeing a doctor on a regular basis. Like, I'm 38 years old, bro. I've seen from 20, actually, scratch that. From like 17 to 35, I went to a doctor once.
Yeah, it's
like
probably about right.
Yeah, and I think that's the case for most dudes, right? And it shouldn't be that, especially with like all the rates now that you hear of us, like young people getting diseases earlier and all this stuff, like. And so, like, yeah, who knows? Like, time will tell. But he's been helpful to me now, and I think, like, hearing a story like this, where this guy, like, I'm like, man, it's guys like this who probably get like a community of people to care about them that much.
Yeah.
But also that end up saving probably lives that they wouldn't even count as that people don't even see, because like, just getting me to book the appointment, just getting me to stick to it, just getting me to could ultimately be life saving. Like, you never know. Yeah.
Let me tell you, man, the last doctor that I went to, it wasn't that I felt uneasy. There was something about what there was sort of like the I'll call it drug pushing.
Yes. Every doctor I've seen I felt has been like that.
And I was just like, and I was very adamant, like when he offered, because I want to say that like my cholesterol was high. Yeah. And it was like, oh, well, we can just put you on like a low dose of whatever, Lipitor or one of those fucking, right? And I'm like, and I go, no.
Yeah.
No, I'm not doing that. Tell me, and I told him, I was like, tell me what's causing that, and then maybe if it's something in my diet, then let me change that first, and let me fix that. Like, don't tell me keep doing what you're doing and we'll put you on a low dose of whatever, like, to control that. Like, I'm not doing that shit.
Dude, and this guy gave me the same chance. He was basically like, here's what you could do.
Yeah.
And I'll give you time to do it that way. He's like, or I could do this. Like, we could fix it tomorrow.
Right.
But, like, if you want to fix it. Like, here's what you do. And, like, didn't push the pills. And, like,
yeah. So for me, I think that after I did that, because I had to go, I think it was for the prostate shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, he checked you and he didn't have to?
Well, he didn't. With his thumb.
He wanted to see what that rectum felt like. The renal.
He didn't use the index finger. He used a thumb.
Yo, we're so immature to be having these conversations. Oh, sorry, y'all.
But no, man. Like I said, I haven't. I just basically, like, I want to say he told me, I'll see you in whatever in a few months. I want to say he's in like 3 months.
Yeah.
I canceled the appointment. I'm just like, nah, I'll come see that motherfucker in a year.
Nah, see, I got one in 3 months or whatever, and I'm gonna do it. Like, because again, every time I've gone, I felt like,
take notes, doctor.
at a minimum, I felt more comfortable in either what I was already doing, or I felt comfortable in like what like his suggestions were, or whatever the advice. Like, and
I think the thing with you and that ties into this story with Dr. Z is that the doctor that you're seeing and Dr. Z they're making you feel like they actually give a fuck about you.
Yeah, dude, and to that point, I go, if I see a GoFundMe for this guy that's like that, I'm gonna jump on. I'm in because So shout out Dr. Z, man. I don't want to lose sight of that because, again, see that many people, that's not nothing, and obviously he means a lot. And also, I think there should be a conversation around like, why does a doctor need this? Like, it shows the astronomical amount that we have to pay for the healthcare, which we always know, right? We know it's a thing, but it's even out of reach for people who we deem in our society to be high earners, right? Still needs help. Is a doctor, and to your point before, like we were joking, but it's valid. Like, probably should be able to avoid it, but obviously can't, right? That's a whole different conversation for a lot of different reasons. Like, it's not. There's a lot of factors behind that, right? And also we can go down the line of like employment and benefits, and if you are working with these health insurance companies all the time, shouldn't you have something that covers you always because you're pushing their product? Like, there's so many layers to this where you could just he shouldn't have been in this predicament in the first place where we needed to raise money for him, and that should be a really big conversation. But I don't want to lose sight of what your original point was, which is like, man, this guy was obviously impactful in people's lives, and then they ultimately showed up for him. And hopefully, hoping for a speedy recovery, man, for Dr. Z, man.
All right, man, what you got?
Dude, I got and I'm halfway ignorant to this, which is maybe why I want to give it to it anyway, but all these fucking No Kings protests and all the ICE raids and I feel like we're like in this really weird time in history that's either going to be... it's either going to be a story in the history book where we're buffoons, like this generation, or we did something really great, or we did some pivotal shift in this country. It just feels like, I don't want to call it like monumental because I feel like that's an over-exaggeration, but it definitely, I don't know, man, in my lifetime, I don't remember us being this politically involved in everything. And I know some of it has to do with like people just hate the current administration, the current president, and so like everything that he does gets sort of amplified and gets like this lens on it that's hasn't been on any other president really in our modern day history. Like and that's not a pro or against like Trump. It's just the reality of the situation is like he's polarizing, and so everything he does is looked at through a very different lens than any other. And even in politics, we're all just unreasonable in the first place. But I feel like, and I guess Obama had some of this too, where like there was a lot of polarizing things about Obama. Obviously because he's black, and we couldn't like. It shouldn't be a thing, but it was, obviously.
We can't have a black president.
And then like Trump, I think because he was so different, he wasn't a politician. He was, he's a reality TV star. At the end of the day, he's like a kind of controversial business person. He's a celebrity person. Like, again, not without. He's certainly earned a lot of the scrutiny and all that stuff. But I think with that, it's everything you do gets put under a microscope, and also he calls attention to himself. Everything is theatrical with him. Absolutely. Everything is performative. Everything, and so
he doesn't help himself
at all
in that regard, right?
So I could be a prisoner of the moment where I'm like, man, this is wild, this is crazy. I don't remember this in my lifetime. But also, I could just be falling into the trap of this just happens to be this administration that we live in. But the other part of this too, man, that I think we can't ignore is this is really. Obama was really the first of this, but I think it obviously this is evolved, is that we haven't had have had to deal with politics under the scope of social media and of the internet to the capacity and to the power that it has now. Mm-hmm. And I think Obama really used that to really get elected, right? Obama was able to use going viral, with one speech really and all that stuff to turn that into a presidential run and won and was able to galvanize sort of a base to do that. And I think Trump has been able to use that in a different way, where he's almost like cult-like, where he's created this following, where it's almost like a religion, but it's been based off of a lot of social media and these in-person rallies and all this stuff. And so we've never really had, like Bush didn't have, we had the internet, but Bush didn't have to like be a president under a administration under like social media like that scrutiny, right? And so I think Obama was really the first one. And I think Trump is like the first one in this like next sort of iteration of social media where it's even bigger than what Obama had.
Yep.
So I know a lot of it is that too, right? Like maybe in perpetuity we get this scrutiny behind presidents and all that. I don't know. Time will tell. But this just feels different in my lifetime. But maybe it's different because it's just pivotal to like there's no going back. We're just in this world now where everything is always up for. Is always sort of like broadcast, and everything you do is broadcast. And because politics is so divisive, it's gonna be like hate and love and to the most extremes, and and then that just is what it is.
No, and on that, man, like one of the things that I heard this week, and it was actually my wife who's told me. She's like, hey, did you hear that for Trump's 79th birthday? He's doing a military like parade, and it cost like $50 million. And so I had not read about this yet, right? And I was just like, that's kind of odd. Like, why would not saying that he wouldn't do that. I'm just saying like why that just seems odd of why he would do that for his birthday and spend that kind of money when he's trying to do all these other things of like the
government cuts,
cuts, right? And right. So like, and then obviously I read more about it, and then come to find out, it was the Army. So the U.S. Army was celebrating their 250th anniversary, and so and there was a parade in Washington D.C. But what I found out was, for the past 2 years, they've been planning this. Now, it also falled on the president's 79th birthday. So it just happened. It just happened to coincide with that. And yes, he has come out publicly and said, "Oh man, like I would love." Like I think he went to France and saw a similar parade and said, "Oh, this would be awesome." And supposedly wanted to do it during his first term, didn't do it. But this thing was in play. Or it was being planned for the last 2 years.
Okay.
And it was actually pretty cool, man, where they did like, they went back in history of the Army and looked at like, and kind of brought out like vintage tanks and Jeeps and uniforms and kind of just to show the history of the Army. And it just happened to coincide with his 79th birthday. And so the mainstream media ran with it as, oh, look what Trump is doing for his birthday. Look what he's spending. And that wasn't the truth.
Yeah. And depending on what side of the coin you sit on, you jump on that. So because I could see one person being like, look what he's done for the Army. They didn't get their parade and the attention that they deserve. And I could see one, and rightfully so. But I could see how one side could use that to like tout how amazing this administration is, and then the other side could go, I can't believe how wasteful you're. Like it's weird. It's the same story, and it's just like the perspective, like where you're sitting.
Do you twist it to your narrative?
Absolutely, man. And dude, I've used this line recently with my own family, with people. It's like, if you're looking for news and whatever, you're trying to figure out what's going on in the world, don't listen to the people whose livelihood depends on you watching them.
Ooh, that's
and
good.
Maybe I'm shooting myself in the foot here because obviously we do a podcast and we want people to listen to us and all that stuff. I'd like to think that we're mostly not saying shit for the sake of like I shouldn't say mostly. I don't think you and I have never deliberately said we're gonna say this shit just to get eyeballs. Like we don't say things for the attention of it. Like we kind of just like shoot the shit here of how we just talk. Yeah. So to me, if someone's livelihood is contingent on you watching them, I take everything you say then with a grain of salt, because like you then have to say anything you can to keep me glued to you. I
never thought about that.
And that's how like I view everything through the lens of that now, right or wrong, and it can be exhausting. And I'm already someone who's skeptical about everyone's like intentions and all that. Like I it's part of like the way my brain works is I over dissect every single thing and grunts and fucking body language and sigh and whatever that everyone always does. And so like I psychoanalyze that to an extent of like exhaustion. But I look at people where I'm like, oh, just at its bare minimum, like, what is your purpose right now? And if like I'm watching someone on a news channel, I don't care what news channel it is, but you're sitting behind a desk and you're delivering the news and you're getting paid to do that.
Yeah.
And you having the ability to do that for as long as you possibly can to make a living and provide for your family is contingent on me watching you. I have to then think of the next step of that of like, how do you keep me watching you?
All right, clickbait.
And
Yeah.
and that's how I keep like, I feel like that I've had to like remind like people like now was like who like to your point
That makes sense.
of seeing that headline and someone going like, oh my God, can you believe this? My automatic response to that is like, keep in mind it's coming from someone who needs you to watch them so that they can put food on their table. And I don't blame that other person either.
No.
Like I get it. Yeah.
And here's the other thing, bro. If you don't like Trump, you're just using this to solidify what you already believe,
Yeah.
right? Rather than like this thing is not gonna make if you're a Trump supporter, even if you thought that he was doing this, even if you thought that he had purposely spent $50 million of taxpayer dollars for his birthday, it's probably not. It might make you go like, it's kind of fucked up, but it won't make you not like him.
Right.
If you already don't like him, then you just use this to go, see,
Right.
this is why I don't like this
Why
guy.
I don't like you. Dude, and man, I have been super critical of Trump like over the course of his first pre-election and whatever. And what I will say is while I never supported like Trump the person, right? Like in terms of like how he goes about things or whatever, I can certainly understand why we got what we got. Was like and I can understand why people voted for that. I could understand that, and I could take that a step further and say like we needed him at a time like this because of, dude. I think what Trump did was our political system is so broken that it allowed someone like him to get voted in.
Yeah.
And I think that it wasn't, and I say that to say we allowed, meaning we allowed someone who wasn't really qualified to be a government official, let alone like the top, like, you know, the government job in the world, because we hadn't gotten anyone who we felt like was already qualified, and we had gotten so much dog shit and we had gotten so much like trash that I think he's just a byproduct of a system that was so broken that we just went, well, fuck it, we can't do any worse.
Right.
We put this guy in, but also like put this guy in who's, yeah, yes, he's a billionaire, but I think people felt like heard for the first time. Like I think, you know, like, dude, like Democrats have been really shitty about how they campaign because they're very like condescending, and the way they messaged the everything was, you know, they came off like elitist, and they didn't really talk to like, I think the average person who was just trying to put food on their table, and you know, like Republicans for a long time were like that. They were like out of touch, and they were, you know, and I think Trump came in at a very opportune time where we were just like, yeah, I fucking hate both of these guys, like both of these parties, meaning. And we just went, well, fuck, it can't get any worse. So like, let's see what we got. And what we got was like, we're like, yo, he talks to us like our friend talks to us. And there was a point in time where we would have been, I don't want my friend to be president of the United States. And then that changed where we just went, fuck it. I want to, put him in. I
want to see.
Yeah, Billy, who's always drunk down the street, wants to be my friend. Like, fuck it. We've been getting shit like that for a long time, or we've been like feeling like we've been getting fucked on this. And yeah, I think that I think history will ultimately look at this point in time and go, we got what we needed and what we deserved, and where this goes from here is totally up to us. Like whether you hated him or loved him or whatever, or whether like Democrats or Republicans like who hated maybe the fact that he got elected, right? Because I think people in his own party hate the fact that he got elected. It's like, okay, then what are you gonna do to make sure that doesn't happen again?
Dude, I feel like the Democrats' issue, in my opinion, was they ran on the thought that you're gonna vote for that guy,
Right.
like no, like he sucks, like you have to vote for us, rather than going, hey, here's what we're gonna do for you.
Right. Dude, and it's funny, man. I'm very guilty of this. Is like to that point, they ran on the you're gonna vote on that guy, and also the very like snooty, like kind of like West Coast and East Coast elitist attitude of like the people in Kansas don't fucking matter, like right. And listen, man, and I'm very guilty of this where I'm very like, listen, the bulk of the population in this country sits along the East Coast and along the West Coast, and they're not in Missouri and they're not in North Dakota, and I'm very guilty of this. Like, and that's true. The people who make the decision, that's very true. Like, right, like whatever, what is it? Like 80% of our population is on the coast, or 90? It's like something really crazy. Of the population of the United States is sitting on the coast, right? And so. And you look at that, you go like, where are all there aren't any Ivy League schools in fucking Boise, right? So there is a point to that. But I also think. I have to
look that up.
Yeah. I promise you there aren't any Ivy League schools in fucking Idaho or Iowa or any, but I say that to say, it doesn't mean that those people can't impact an election or that their voice doesn't matter, and I could be seen as a quote unquote like East Coast elitist or whatever. I'm very aware of that, but I think that same attitude has been what like sort of the Democrats have carried themselves to, and I think people are kind of sick of that shit. Like, you're telling me like how I should feel about like gender, and which is a very weird state. I don't want to take sides on that, but it's like a very you can't tell me that there's a definitive opinion on it.
We got a whole podcast on that one. Man. Yeah, it's called A League of Their Own.
Yes, go listen to A League of Their Own. And of being like, if you don't like him, you're a fucking loser. To your point of like Trump, and it's like, no, bro, like your running message can't be don't vote for that guy. It should be vote for me because X, right? And they lost that, and somewhere in the mix there, and I think both parties did, man. I that's why I'm really fascinated to see. I think this, going back to like the original like carbon footprint thing here, was like, I don't know enough about the raids, and I know this whole No Kings March was basically more anti-Trump than it was about the like ICE raids. It all just happens to coincide, and there's been these riots and all that.
And I think the whole No Kings thing, like I said again, I think that the parade and the way that the mainstream media portrayed the parade, rather than going like, oh, this is something that was 2 years in the making, they go, oh, look, Trump is doing like Kim Jong-un. Right? Trump is doing like the old Soviet Union, parading our military down the streets as a flex.
Yeah, and it's not the case at all.
That's not what it was.
And I think, there's a couple parts of me and I don't know enough about. I didn't do the research, admittedly, about every single part of this, so I'm not like nuanced. But what I can say is like, yes, Trump went into office, and listen, right or wrong, his messaging was always build a wall, I'm going to fix immigration. But whether you agreed with that or not, that's not the point. He had that messaging. He stuck with it. He's gone all in on those things, right? On deportation, on trying to build a wall, whatever. At the end of the day, he had a message, and he had a sort of like, he had a brand, if you will, right? And it was that, and that's what he stuck to. The Democrats didn't have anything like that. There is no Democrats like deport like all illegal. They're like, I don't know what sort of like the branding is, quote unquote, for the Democrats, right? I'm not saying I agree or disagree with Trump's thing, but I don't know what the Democrats thing is, other than like bathrooms, right? Which affects too few people. But I guess what I can say is, what I've seen from these raids is I've seen them like raiding like Home Depots, and I think that part to me bothers me a little bit, for sure.
Are they raiding them because that's where like
illegals
are there to like install your floors?
So
it's the folks like hanging out outside.
Yeah, you've never picked up a day labor from Home Depot?
I haven't.
You just don't want to admit it on the podcast.
No, I haven't, but I've been tempted.
But dude, like, so you go to your local Home Depot any day of the week, there will be 15 to 20 guys out there looking for work, and you could go pick them, and they'll do fucking anything you ask them to, and they'll give you their rate and whatever. And like, to me, like, I understand people are here illegally. I understand they're breaking the law. I understand all that stuff, right? And the promise is like, hey, we're gonna get rid of drug dealers, and we're gonna get rid of like rapists, and we're gonna get rid of all these like law breaking citizens and all that stuff in other formats.
Yeah.
You're breaking the law if you're here illegally. I understand that.
Yes.
But
those guys are trying to work.
to me, bro, you know how shitty of a drug dealer you have to be if you're hanging out at Home Depot every morning to try to go get picked up to lay some tile somewhere. You're a fucking awful drug dealer, and you should be allowed to go out there and lay tile.
I love that guy.
I'm gonna leave you alone. Like, I think I have an issue with that because I still think of these people, and I don't care like the argument that people want to make about like, oh, you should have just gone through the system. Like, fuck you. Those same people will steal cable. Those same people will, lie on their taxes. Those same those same people will do other things. So like, I don't want to get like the fucking, goody two shoes response to that, or the suddenly you're this a moralist behind that. Like, I have a real issue with that because these are real contributing citizens who are trying to do something, right? Like if you're at fucking Home Depot and you're willing to lay sod and paint someone's house and do all this shit, like you're trying to make an honest living, right? You're here illegally, sure, but you're making an attempt at an honest living. Those guys, I can guarantee you aren't selling drugs. They're not fucking raping. They're not murdering people. They're not doing that stuff. Right. Otherwise, they wouldn't be outside of the Home Depot.
They're fucking working, right?
They're fucking working. And so, like, or the people working as a cook in a restaurant, all that shit. And I know that's not the bulk of it.
And not for nothing, man. If you're not like, even if you're working off the books, guess what? You have to buy goods and services here,
right?
Right. So you are contributing to the economy in some facet.
Yeah, and I think to me, I really do have an issue with that part of this, where I go, there's no way that you've cleaned house so well that all the criminals and all the other shit's gone, and that now you just have to move on to the
Home Depot guy.
Yeah, right. To the Home Depot guy. I like that part. I disagree with. Like I feel like it's shooting fish in a barrel. It's
right.
Easy. You know that they're there every day. They're gonna go, and to me, what you potentially do is you make the problem worse, because now those guys go, well, I can't hang out at Home Depot. And so what are my other options? My other options have to start like shifting
rob
into
and
like
steal.
They start to get nefarious because I have to lay low. And again, like, I want you here, bro. No one is lining up to take fucking landscaping job. No one's lining up to clean hotel rooms. No one's lining up to lay tile and do all that stuff. Like, yes, those are jobs, all that stuff. Like, they're not really sought after here. Like, it's not like there's a shortage of like, hey, I can't get a job fucking being a carpet installer because these immigrants keep taking it. That's not the case, man. And I think that's the argument that people like to make who are just like anti-immigrants and all that stuff, and they like to sit behind this moral cloth of like, oh, but they're taking jobs from people, and it's like, but they're not. Like, no one that I know is not getting a job because they're like, oh, it's too filled up by the Mexicans. You know, like,
I want to see what is the unemployment rate,
bro. It's like fucking like 6-7%. It's really low in terms of like in general, which. You're gonna tell me that 6 or 7% of people are like, oh, I can't get a job because Pedro hangs out at Home Depot and he takes all my fucking like window washing jobs. Like, there's no fucking way. Like, I have a real problem with that, because I also think that's still the cornerstone of our economy. Like, those people still go out and they spend money. They still go out and put their kids in schools. They still go out and they buy food and
4.2%.
Yeah, look at that shit.
That's pretty fucking.
That's good, pretty fucking good, man. Yeah, so you're going to tell me that our 4.2%
of people that are U.S. citizens don't want to work.
Don't want to work. That's what it fucking is, bro. It's just, so that part I have trouble with, because to me, like, I know you're here legally, whatever, and we should find a way to address that. I think taking them and deporting them isn't the answer when you have people who are contributing in a meaningful and honest way. Yeah.
What is a good unemployment rate? Like, it can't be zero.
No, it's impossible, right? Yeah. Bro, I think that shit's amazing. I think it should be over 10. Bro, you're going to tell me...
I know 4% of people that don't want to work.
Think about everybody you know. 10% of them, minimum, don't deserve jobs, right? Like, I'm going to venture to say that half the people I know, I can't believe they're employed. There's no fucking way that the unemployment rate should be 4 to 5%.
Hired you here?
Yeah, I'm more flabbergasted every time I see people who have jobs.
Bro, we had a meeting recently, man, and we were discussing different sort of areas in our corporation, and that was actually brought up where it was like, what are these people doing? They don't understand what we're doing. They don't understand this. You know, they don't understand the things that they should understand.
Okay.
And so it was like, it's to that. It's just like, how are they hired? They probably shouldn't be working.
It should, yeah.
At least not here.
Yeah, I work with people all the time where I'm like, how the fuck did you get a job?
Pretty sure this is like the third podcast in a row.
I know. Yeah, you're right, man. I got called.
You're gonna get fired soon.
No, yeah, I hope so. I'm not that lucky.
He didn't say that, people.
Fuck each and every one of y'all. I hope I do. And that means you guys listening, I'm gonna need y'all to listen and subscribe.
That's right.
And hit us up because this might be my job. Make sure you guys are commenting. Like so. I can only say fuck my job so many times.
I'm waiting for me to come over here and you're like, yeah, man, they finally fired me.
No, I'm gonna do it on the pod though. I want to get your in life reaction to that shit.
Don't tell me till we get.
I'm not. The minute I go, yo, you can be like, whatever. I'm like, guess we don't got a job no
more. Don't worry, man. I know somebody who will hire you.
Will they after that pod?
Probably not.
Time will tell.
We only have. I think we're up to like 12 listeners, so we're all right.
I'm gonna need the 12 of y'all to subscribe for about $499 a month.
No matter what, you're in a better situation than R. Kelly, man. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. R. Kelly, if you guys have not seen this, R. Kelly has overdosed while in prison.
What the fuck did he overdose on?
So, bro, R. Kelly is serving. Okay, he got. R. Kelly got peed on too many times.
I'm trying to think of what he could get in abundance in prison. Actually, I'm lying. You can get everything in prison.
Yo,
you know the right people.
But check this out. So he's serving a 31-year sentence.
Okay.
For child sexual abuse crimes, right? So anyway, he does have an attorney. The attorney claimed that the Bureau of Prison. Let me see this. The Bureau of Prisons staff at his federal center in Butner, North Carolina, intentionally gave him too much medication, which caused him to overdose and be transferred to a mental hospital.
Okay. And that's his. Is that his argument? I'm gonna assume that means he's trying to get out of prison.
So he was forced to take the medication in solitary confinement on the night of June 12th.
Is he sure his roommate isn't Bill Cosby?
Wait,
man.
Put the YouTube on, people.
Yeah, y'all don't want to miss that one. That one's Sean threw the alley. Oh my God, man. Yeah, like,
dude. But listen, bro. Let's just say when I saw that headline, I go, yeah. If I'm R. Kelly, I'm doing fucking drugs every day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Like, why not?
Why not? Yeah, I want to be high for this experience. Yeah, absolutely. But it's prescription drugs, right? That they're putting him on. It's like some kind of. He's saying they're over medicating him.
Basically.
Stop complaining, bro. Like,
take the over medication.
You ungrateful motherfucker. The system's already keeping you alive, and they're giving you free drugs. Why are you so whiny, bro? R. Kelly's such a bitch, bro. Yo, man, we don't talk about this enough. every single person who makes absolute generational bangers is a fucking weirdo, bro. Like, I have to assume now, anytime anybody drops a song, like too many really great songs in a row, I gotta go, yo, man, you're fucked up. You're fucked up. You like to touch kids or yourself on camera, and we're about to find out which one.
Or you got 1,000 bottles of baby oil.
Yeah. Like, or you like to beat the shit out of your, you like to rub cum on your nipples that's not yours. It's really weird, but it's like, it's batting 1,000.
Is Diddy gay?
Oh, yeah, I would say he's gay just based on the fact that, yo, man, if Diddy would have just straight up just done it and he'd be like, yo, I'm bi-curious, I'd have been like, all right, I think it's gay that he didn't. And we had this conversation last time. I think it's gay that he didn't just ask for the. It's almost like it's gay adjacent. I don't even know what to call it, but like.
You did say something last time.
Secondhand gay.
Secondhand gay.
It's weirder to me that you want to be like a conduit for gay and not just a full-on gay.
That's
like,
what it was. It's secondhand gay.
Like,
that's had me dying.
I don't even know how to describe it, but maybe it's just like the culture that he's in and all that. But I'm like, clearly you're into dudes to some capacity, like, and you like to grease them up and all that shit, but you don't want to have actual sex, which to me means you do, and you just like you're too bitch behind it, and so you got to do it through your girl. It's almost like you're using an avatar to have gay sex. It's like really fucking weird, bro.
Bro, not for nothing, man.
I don't think he's gay. He's probably bisexual. I don't know, because he clearly likes women too, right?
Did you ever watch that show Empire?
No, I know what you're talking about. I'm familiar enough with it, but I've never watched it.
It was fuck, man, I can't.
Terrence Howard, right? Yeah,
Terrence Howard was okay. So and
Taraji P. Henson, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Which, by the way, Taraji P. Henson is in this Netflix. Is it called like Last? No, it's called Straw.
Oh, I haven't seen it. I did see it. I haven't watched it, but I did.
If you're the second person that's mentioned Straw,
okay,
go watch Straw, people. I just watched this shit like last week. Yo, like, so powerful.
Yeah? You're the second person that's mentioned that in the last couple of days.
Fucking powerful, man. Shout out to Taraji P. Henson. I know that she's come out like in the last year talking about like how like really good women actresses don't get paid what they're worth, and she's been the victim of that or whatever, man.
I mean, she's a phenomenal.
Dude,
so good.
And you know what's funny, man, is that watching her in this, she's so head and shoulders above everybody in it. Like, it's so apparent that her,
she's so good, man. Yeah,
dude.
I see her like Viola Davis, and I'm you're
next level shit,
right? You're like watching the MJ of their craft, right? Like you're just going like, you're better than everyone around you. Yeah, it's so true, man. Wow.
And in this movie, there's another actress that's actually a comedian that's playing with her. I forget her name, so forgive me. They're both really good, but Taraji is like. It's so apparent, bro. It's like the level of acting is insane, but very touching, very powerful. So you haven't seen it anyway. Going back to my initial thought, yeah, definitely. My initial thought was Empire. So those two, Taraji and Terrence Howard have a couple of boys, right? That they're like. And one of them sings, one of them raps. The rapper. So like when this shit came out, I remember following a few of them on Twitter. Mm-hmm. The younger son, who's like the rapper, bro. I saw a post from him the other day, and I guess this guy's gay, but I don't give a shit that he's gay. But on his Twitter post, it's him in like bikini underwear talking about like.
So he's wearing a Speedo?
Like, enter me type shit. And I was like, oh, yeah, man, watch this. Unfollow.
You an asshole, because if it was a girl, you would.
I was like, I'm like, no, man, I don't want to see that, bro.
You said enter me. I'm still dying.
I don't want to quote him, but that's what I saw.
Yo, Oh man.
And I haven't seen a post from this, and I don't be on Twitter a lot.
Yeah, I love it's my favorite social app or X, whatever. But I'm not on it as much as I used to be. I used to just go on there and just fucking read because people are so witty and funny.
Oh yeah.
I love that shit, man.
I'm here for the comments, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not here for those comments.
I've never watched that show, but I feel like I know who you're talking about. But also. I don't know what you call that. Like you're definitely bi at a minimum, right? And then are you hiding behind the doing shit with the women because you are in a culture that doesn't, like I listen. If Diddy was gay and he didn't want to come out of the closet, I can empathize with that because he grew up in an era where that shit wasn't like all these kids coming out now and you can be in fucking middle school now and be gay and all that is very fucking
that
new.
wasn't
the case when I was in high school and middle school and all that, and that wasn't that long ago, right? And so I understand that times have evolved and they've changed, and so maybe Diddy grew up in an era where it wasn't okay to be cat. So maybe he could be gay and do that. Like honestly, I don't give a shit. I'd be more disappointed in his taste than just stuff, but also just the fucked up stuff he did I have a real problem. Like, you're a piece of shit. Like, anytime you abuse women in general or kids or elderly or, that shit, I don't know. There's something really repulsive. And like, as a human being, like, I can't overlook that kind of shit. Like the guys who beat their wives or whatever. Like, I can't. I think it's extra bad when you're a celebrity with access, because being him, you can literally just walk into a club and like handpick people, and for like 90% of them are gonna leave with you, right? Like you're gonna have the occasional like woman who's like, who has some self-respect and whatever, like it's gonna be like no. But most women, if P. Diddy walks in and he's like, yeah, I want you to come home with me, they're gonna be like, all right, and they'll pretty much do whatever he asks, right? Like that's not the case for a lot of men, but a guy like P. Diddy, you can walk into a club in Miami and have your pick. There's
probably a bunch of dudes that will do the same.
And there's and you're right. And there's a bunch of dudes who will do the same shit. So you don't have to. So I almost look at them as even worse, because I'm like, bro, you don't even have to. Like, you don't even have to try.
Right.
So like, you can just ask. Like, and people will do whatever the fuck you want. Like, it's just, so it's even worse, because I'm going like, you can go ask 10 people and 7 were gonna say yes, like to do whatever weird shit you want to do that day. Like, I don't know. It's extra bad for me. I don't know what to think. I really don't, because like, I feel like this isn't the end of this whole shit. I feel like we're gonna hear so much more than we think we're even prepared to hear. Like, I think, I've heard enough shit about Diddy over the years that I know there's a lot more to this than just like what he's doing now. Like,
how many years is he facing?
I think the rest of his life, really.
Life in prison.
Yeah, dude, you go kidnapping, racketeering, fucking trafficking. Like, he's not getting out, man. Like. Also, I think we talked about this fucking 2 years ago or 1 year ago on this podcast when he first got raided. The government is like 98% in conviction rate, bro. The federal government has like a 98% conviction rate. Like, we haven't even seen everything they have to offer yet through this trial, right? But
life in prison, bro.
You
didn't kill nobody.
He's done, bro. Yeah, I think the problem is there's just an accumulation of what he should be doing. I think he should be trying to plead out of this ASAP and take 10 years and just get the fuck out or whatever. Like, I think him and his team should really be considering like whatever the plea deal is. I don't know. Maybe it's so crazy that they're
we assume there is one.
It's worth the gamble. Yeah, dude. I think if you're him, you can go to them and be like, hey, we can save you a ton of time, money, resources, yada, yada, yada. I'm just going to come out and think, like, let's agree on something. Like, and if I'm him, I think that's the only way you win this.
Plead like a no contest.
Yeah, and then just go, I'll plead to the fucking trafficking because I moved the girls between state lines or whatever. Pick a thing and then go, I'll do my 10 years. And then I'm going to go sing like a bird about all the bad shit that I know. Because if you're Diddy, you got to have information. Bro, this shit is happening to Diddy because he fucked with the wrong person. And I guarantee you that wrong person has government ties or, high fucking, executive ties to some of the companies that control the United States. But, like, this isn't happening to him because some girl ratted him out. This is happening to him because he pissed off the wrong person in a position of power somewhere. And ultimately, that's going to come out or not. So, like... Yeah, and that's the part that I'm more fascinated with is like, what the fuck comes out? Like, do you put Diddy on a stand if you're his legal team?
Yeah, I guess that remains to be seen.
We will find out, man.
All right, man. How we doing on time, though?
An hour or 5. Ready?
All right, man. Let's
Sorry, we've been talking about Diddy like 3 podcasts in a row now.
That's all right, man. Just a little bit. Do you want to finish with this Florida man 911 call, man?
I was trying to. Oh yeah, did you see the story? So he called 911 after a strip club worker refused to have sex with him for money. He's basically like, "Bitch, this is your job." Have you seen this story?
Where in Florida?
Pinellas County.
Where's that?
Pinellas is like on the beach somewhere. So I want to say, isn't that Clearwater? Isn't that Pinellas? St. Pete? I feel like it's in that
sounds
direction.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know.
Sorry,
Again,
we're talking about West Coast Florida.
I went to public school outside of Pinellas County.
There's no waves over there.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it's there. But he called 911 to complain after he paid $300 to a worker at the OZ Gentlemen's Club for sex, but he did not receive the service. The staff at the club told the deputies that he requested a service, but in a private room, but his request was denied. And he has since been charged with misuse of the 911 system.
Why would he call? I mean, he had to be drunk.
What do you think?
Why would you call 911?
I'm going to give you this guy's name, and I think a lot of it starts to make sense.
Are we going to guess what race it is?
Oh. If you can guess the race of this guy. His name is Sultan Al-Nofay.
Oh, that's a Middle Eastern dude.
What made you say that?
I don't know.
With the lack of respect for women? Was it the fucking...
Call the fucking emergency service. This chick won't fuck me. And I'm willing to pay her.
You know what kind of you gotta be like, yo, this bitch said no, and I like, I gotta get the cops involved. Nothing says Middle East.
And like, she didn't have a covering on her head.
Watch him.
And she wasn't fully covered.
Covered. He's like, she was wearing pasties and a thong, and she wouldn't fuck me for $300. Clearly, there's a crime being committed here.
Arrest this bitch.
Yo, he's not wrong. That's misleading. If you're out here willing to dance in pasties and a thong for a couple of bucks, like people throwing singles at you, and I offer you $300 to go to the back to fuck me, and you say no, I'm gonna be like, nah, this shit feels scandalous.
Something's wrong.
Something's wrong. Thank goodness I'm handsome.
This whole establishment is out of line.
Bro, you know it's gotta be like that to pay somebody to fuck you, man. Ah, that shit has to be so fucking sad.
Then get turned down.
And then get turned down. Like, I can't even pay you to fuck me. Like, you say no, and I offered you money.
I wonder if the price was too low.
You think $300? Somebody got to be willing to take that up.
Maybe, but maybe not.
I mean, $300 is low. I hear you.
But
I'm gonna assume if you're taking $300 to fuck, your standards are probably pretty low, bro. In Pinellas County, like if we were in Miami-Dade, yo, absolutely, you get a couple grand. Like, I get it. Miami-Dade strippers, you command like $2,000 a fuck. I get it. You in Pinellas County, that's the minor leagues. That's the minor leagues of strip joints, bro. You can't be commanding. What you want? You want 1,000? I figure you want 700. I got it, bro. I'm paying you by the two.
That means it's 200.
Like, I don't know, man. This shit is wild.
Only in Florida, man. And that dude has to be from somewhere else.
Well, yeah, clearly. I want to look up for it, but yeah. He's from Kazakhstan or somewhere in the Middle East or something.
Here, only in Florida, bro.
Only, yeah. That shit is insane. And the fucking price. Yeah, I don't know, man. What's the price? Yo, can you imagine if you got to have sex first and then you get to offer him money based on how that goes?
Ooh.
And you get to go based on the diameter of the pussy. You be like,
I didn't feel shit. You get zero.
Like, I start deducting. You start deducting by the hour. You be like, yo, your hourly rate is $200, but you start like, you know, it's kind of like the Olympic scoring system, and you just start deducting money based on the score. Vaginal tightness -5. Like, you figure if you're a stripper or you're a prostitute, there's gotta be a premium put on, like, the better the product.
But if you get like a 9.5, you just gotta take her home.
I hope I'm never ugly enough that I have to pay for sex. God damn, bro, that shit hurts my feelings, and I'm not even the one paying for it, bro. Can you imagine having to be in that
Hopefully, by the time you're ugly enough, you don't give a fuck.
Nah, or you just robots around, and I can just, you know, I won't feel that. Like,
some AI shit.
Yeah, man. By the time I'm ugly enough, God, that shit would make me so sad, bro.
It might not. It might not, bro. You might get like a 25-year-old looking AI that's smart and like intellectual.
It'll be like, yeah, whatever you concoct up in your mind, right. It'll pop up. Yeah, because like I know we've joked about this on here before, but like the running thing is always like, oh, you're paying a stripper to go away, you're not paying.
Yes, yeah.
I don't think that shit's true at all. Or the prostitute, bro.
You change your mind, man?
Yeah,
hit me with it,
bro. I think we could all relate to that. I just don't think we think about this as far. It's the reason why OnlyFans is popular and all this shit. I think we want attention. I think as guys, we want to pretend that like, oh, I pay her to leave after I fuck her because I don't want to deal with her after that. I think if you think about like,
no, it's the attention, bro.
It's you want to be wanted, right? Like you think about the like there's like you hear this comment all the time, like the guys that cheat on their wives and the chick is always uglier, and they're like, oh, he cheated with an uglier chick,
right?
And they assume it's the sex. And it's like, it's not the sex. It's that the chick had sex with them like they were the last dick on earth. Right. Like it's the attention. It's like that one. It's that like need. And I think like
we all want to be desired.
Yeah, right. And that's what it is. Like, because women want to be too, right?
Yeah,
but I think with guys, it's like like you hear that shit all the time where they're like, man, he had, you know, like he cheated on her with some chick that was way uglier than his wife or, you know, his girlfriend or whatever. And it's just like, yeah, because that chick made him feel like he had the last dick on earth. And like, really, that's what. I think at the end of the day, like you said, we all want to be desired. We want to be wanted. We want like the chase is that feeling of feeling like you're wanted like that.
Right.
And so I think it's that. And so like I don't buy into this narrative like this dude goes to a strip club and like you buying like you want to pay this chick to fuck you because then you can tell her to go away. No, you want to feel like she actually wants you. It's why like we all know that guy who thinks the fucking flirty waitress or the chick at the strip club actually wants them and they're just like not fucking registering that like no, it's her job to do that because she gets tipped more.
Yeah.
Because ultimately they're enamored with the idea that she wants him.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
right.
So like I can understand why these guys get like in this zone where they're just like, well, but you know, I want to pay you. Not from the Middle East. They just assume that they don't have rights and they should do it because they offer the money.
Women
they're
say
like,
no, that doesn't
women,
work.
Like you should be lucky I'm offering you money. I was like, and you drove here. Oh man, bro? Florida never fucking disappoints me, man. You want to talk about NBA Finals before we leave?
Sure.
I know we're out 13, but like,
go for it.
I feel like we missed out on the Eastern Conference and Western Conference, and now we're in the finals. So by the time we do this pod again, it will be over. So
yeah, it will be.
I think the only like the part that stood out to me is like I talk shit about this being probably the lowest rated finals ever. And I don't know what the answer is to that yet.
Yeah, we'll see when it's all over.
Numbers.
Yeah,
but what I will say as a sort of basketball dork and like the X's and O's, like I do enjoy that piece. Like I want to be entertained, but I do enjoy sort of the strategic element of basketball and all that. I have enjoyed the games that I have watched. From what these two coaches, man, phenomenal. And I also think Rick Carlisle, and I hate that I can't remember the name of of his assistant coach, the woman who's the assistant coach in the Pacers. But like, dude, Rick Carlisle is a fucking coaching just mad scientist. Watching him and Oklahoma City, I don't want to take credit with because Oklahoma City was the best defensive team in the NBA during the regular season. Watching NBA basketball where people are being picked up full court and there's full court press and there's man-to-man thing and like that's not common, man. And when you watch these games now, you're going like, Dude, SGA is getting picked up the minute he picks up the ball. He's halfway between the free throw line and the out of bounds, and he has to go blow past the defender. That shit's fucking exhausting, bro, for 40 minutes. You know, like,
and the guy has scored over 30 points in something like 9 straight home games. Yeah. Like he's a
matchup nightmare. Numbers, and then what happens is towards the end of the game, whoever's defending him is gassed and they're running out of fouls. That kid, I wish I could remember his name, is doing a great job.
Nembhard.
What I would say is
Nembhard.
What I would say is let him have the second quarter, something like that, and take it off, and then just go in after that. Because what's going to happen is ultimately SGA wins that battle. Because when it matters, if you keep the game close, if you're Indiana, if you didn't run away with it, then you get gas, you're in foul trouble, and now SGA gets to go off. Like he dropped 15 or whatever, 20 it was the other day
in the fourth quarter
alone.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like again, you can't play him as tight anymore because you're in foul trouble.
Yeah.
Dude,
he's a phenomenal talent, man. I wish he would dunk.
Yeah, dude, he is. Well, we're never gonna give him the face of the NBA because he's Canadian. But then he doesn't dunk. He doesn't shoot threes. He doesn't like. He's such a good basketball player, but he's not exciting to watch. Right. And so, like you said,
he does shoot threes, man, but he doesn't make a ton.
No, but that's what I'm saying. He's not like a
mid-range, like almost like a fadeaway jumper that he has, and he hits the vast majority of them. He's a phenomenal talent, man. But to your point, I think these two NBA teams defensively are phenomenal. I also think that the depth of both of these teams is what really is making it, is really what makes them great. And I think that other teams in the NBA are going to start emulating this.
Absolutely.
And going like, dude, is it Hartenstein or something like that? The guy that's on OKC, he's like a... He's one of the... He's either a power forward or a center.
Yeah.
He was with the Knicks. Right, and he was one of the guys that got let go, and good for him, man. It's just like that. Both of these teams are just so deep, and with talent, and they just got talent coming off the bench. They're able to rest their stars, so that when the fourth quarter comes around, they can put them in and they can win the game.
Yeah, dude. And both coaches have put on just master classes in coaching defensively. Like you said, both the teams are so deep. They're not reliant on. Obviously, you know, Oklahoma needs SGA and Indiana needs Halliburton and like, you know, obviously. But when those guys are out, man, and Halliburton has been playing injured, from what it looks like, is those games are still close. These guys are still battling the. It has been an entertaining. I want to see Rick Carlisle get his flowers just from a. Dude, Rick Carlisle won a championship with the Dallas Mavericks against Miami and that LeBron team in Miami. It was the first year. Or whatever. Yeah. And a lot of that conversation around that went, you know, LeBron choked. And like maybe Carlisle just had a really good game plan, because I saw him do it to Jalen Brunson and the Knicks and Cat, and he completely like took them out. Like he basically made them liabilities. Like, and what happened was like when the Knicks had really good defensive lineups, and they removed those guys, they couldn't score for shit. So it was like the Knicks weren't deep enough, to your point now. It's like the Knicks didn't have a deep enough roster to go. The Knicks were either we can lock you down on defense or we can score points, but we can't do both at the same time without hurting ourselves. And like I felt like that was like the magic in the Carlisle thing. It was like he took advantage of that, where the lineups that he created were almost like mismatched nightmares, because you went, I'll let Brunson score 40, but no one else is gonna. And so can Brunson score 40, and then he's also giving up 30 to his guy on the other end of the floor. So now you're like in a net position where it doesn't, like the upside isn't that great,
right? Because
the other guys can't score for shit. You know, like it's like there was like these little things that he did throughout that series that you just went. I expected Thibodeau to sort of, I guess, respond better. But the other part of me went, maybe he just wasn't that deep and he couldn't respond in a way. Like you said, OKC and Indiana's like benches are so deep, and they're household names, so I think it's easy to overlook.
Right.
But they're phenomenal ball players, man. Like, so I've enjoyed that part of these finals. has been the X's and O's and the execution and like those little things of like how do you get and it's been like quarter to quarter where you see these guys make adjustments where like this team will go up 15 and now this team will bring it back and tie it. Yeah.
And even the loser of each game has kept it so tight.
Yeah. Even if it starts off as a blowout.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so it's been great to watch. So next game, so we're recording on a Tuesday night. It's already Wednesday morning. But it's a Tuesday, quote unquote Tuesday night. I want to say the next game is on Thursday.
I think so. I think that sounds right.
They played Monday. I want to say they're going to play like probably Thursday and Sunday.
I hope it goes 7, man.
Game 6 is on Thursday. Indiana, or OKC can put it away. Indiana will be defending their home floor. I'm so glad that the NBA changed it back to this format. The 2-2-1-1-1.
1-1-1. Yeah, me too. I hated the whole
2-3-2. I fucking hated that, man.
I like this format. You're right. I like this 2-2-1-1-1. Yeah. I think it adds a better sense of urgency. I think it's more rewarding. I think to the whoever gets like home.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. I really hope this went from being like a very I think underwhelming finals and all that stuff, but I think if it goes 7, I definitely want to watch that.
Yeah.
And I hope it does. I know OKC's up. When we're recording this, OKC's up 3-2. But yeah, I hope Indy wins this next one. I just want to see the 7.
See game 7, bro.
And I want to see these two again. I can't remember the name of the coach. The OKC, another great coach, a great roster. I think. Personally, man, I really want to see Indiana sort of get it, just because I think I kind of want to I want to see Rick Carlisle get his like fuck you to the NBA. I feel like he's been sort of like not respected as a coach, but also I not for nothing, I think OKC is going to be back here. I think OKC is young enough and good enough to where they don't have to pay astronomical salaries to their guys yet, so they're going to be around.
You want to pronounce that guy's name?
Dagano. I don't know. Mark Deggy.
We're going to call him Mark D.
We're going to call him Mark D, the coach. That's why I can't remember your name, because it sounds like a fucking... It sounds like a pastry at a French cafe that I don't like because it's filled with cream. All
right, man. Let's get out of here, bro. On that, tell them where they can find us.
At the Carbon Food Podcast on IG. At the Carbon Food Podcast on YouTube, at Carbon FP Pod on X, the Carbon Food Podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, GeoSavin, Ghana, Podchaser, Pocket Cast, Radio Cast, Audible, Amazon, everything, wherever you get your podcast from, just tell it to play us. Tell your smart device to play us. We're pretty much on everything now, so find us. Thank you guys for listening. It's been awesome. I've seen I have been able to see some of the Spotify subscription numbers and the Apple Podcast subscription numbers lately, and it's been cool. We appreciate you guys leaving the reviews, and if you haven't, go in there and leave us one, please.
And as always, we appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Peace.
Peace.